Hello everyone, another puzzle today. Thought this one was quite interesting. It's an endgame, um, and I think it's quite an instructive one. Not necessarily the most difficult puzzle ever, but if you want, feel free to pause the video, see what you think, see if you can figure it out. So, jumping straight in, there's an obvious decision to be made here. Do we take the rook? I think it's a no-brainer. I think we have to take the rook. There's just no way we can possibly win without doing that. If you think about it, let's say we just start pushing the pawn. The rook's just going to come back. We push the pawn, the rook comes back. We defend, but the rook can just sack, and then, we win the rook, but we're going to be too late to get back to stop this pawn. So that just doesn't work. So if we go back a bit, take the rook, play black's move. So in this position, I sort of looked at this for a while. I think there's two main ideas here. It's quite a common thing in endgames where you have pawn races, where there's this idea of sort of chasing down the enemy's pawn versus pushing your own pawn. And those are the two main ideas. So let's say we just have to calculate it out. Let's look at the pushing the pawn. Let's say pawn here. Black can't currently. Well, actually they can. They can just push. Then we push. Then black pushes and queens before us. In general, if your opponent is queening before you, they're going to win, unless you're queening the very next move with check. It tends to be the case where if you queen with check, you're probably going to win. You're going to probably at least draw. But as we know, these puzzles are about a winning position, so this probably doesn't work for us. Yeah, this is probably at best a draw. The other idea is, let's just chase down this pawn. Let's delay it as long as we can, and then push our pawn when we can. So we might want to play king here. Now this pawn can't be pushed immediately. Black has to push their king down as well to support the pawn. Then that gives us a free move, so then we can go here. Then we could bring the king here, preventing this push, so they have to move their king again. Then we push here. The problem here is they're now going to promote with check on us, and that's just going to be game over. It doesn't work. So it kind of looks like these two ideas just don't work. Either of them. This idea doesn't work, and this idea doesn't work. So what's the solution here? Well, one of the key things about a lot of these puzzles is, and not necessarily just the endgame ones, in general, there's certain tactics that you'll spot, or certain little things about the position, and you'll think, yeah, that's a possibility, maybe that's something. Then you'll spot something else, and you say, oh yeah, that's maybe something as well. What sometimes happens is the ideas come together, and you have to sort of combine the two. And that's what's happening here, and this is why I think this is kind of a cool, instructive puzzle. So the idea here is, the only winning move is to actually, first of all, concentrate on this side. So we have to play here. Now black plays king here. Then we push our pawn. They push their pawn. But now, instead of continuing with this idea, we now shift our focus and just push the pawn again. And the reason why this works is, well, look at the queen square. And look at where black's king now is. So we've deliberately sort of maneuvered black's king forward, because they had to come forward to push the pawn because of our king move. So now when we queen, we're actually going to be checking. So we now push, they queen, and note as well, in this variation, it's not with check. That's really important. We queen with check. And that is the end of the puzzle. That is winning for white. I appreciate in practical terms, there's still a lot of play here, potentially. Could be an easy win. I've not really looked at it. But the principle stands, if you can queen with check, that's generally a win. In these puzzles, at least. So yeah, I thought that was kind of an instructive one. When there's two different ideas, don't necessarily just calculate that idea, then calculate this idea, and think that's the only option. Another option is to combine them together, as we have seen here. So we focus down here for one move of the king, and then we push the pawn. And that works, and that's the only combination that works. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it useful in some way. If you did like it, please like and subscribe the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.